Welcome to Local Living Tri-City, your go-to podcast for exploring the vibrant communities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. Join me, Liz Jones, as we dive into real estate insights and local business stories, bringing you closer to the heart of our Tri-City area. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to Local Living. I am Liz Jones, your host, and today with me I have Stephanie Proctor. And Stephanie and I got to know each other through a local BNI group, and she's with JPN Insurance. And so I thought it was really important to understand a little deeper dive of what you do. And Stephanie, she only does health insurance. So I want to learn more because obviously there's all facets of health insurance today. And I'd like to learn, you just went through something, I think it was called open enrollment.
Yes.
What is open enrollment?
Well, yeah, it's a crazy time of the year. Open enrollment is meant for people to have the chance to review their plans, to consider other options, to change anything they want, update things. There's definitely like income changes, family size changes. You get divorced, you have a baby, somebody passes away. So those kind of circumstances would cause a change. Also, maybe they lost their job or they're no longer receiving benefits through an employer, so now they have the opportunity to get it elsewhere.
So for a period of time, once a year, if, let's say, you get divorced outside of that time, there's no change.
Oh, no, that's a totally different circumstance. So those are considered qualified life events. So there's multiple of them. Having a baby, getting married, like I said, losing a job, switching, moving from even county to county, moving state to state. Let's see, what else would be another one? Oh, geez. The loss of coverage is the biggest one. Because, yes, they've either lost their job or they've resigned from that job and now need something.
Okay, so those people can come in
Anytime.
much anytime.
Yeah.
Do you help those people also
Of course,
with that?
yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then open enrollment is like, okay, guys, if you've been thinking about a change.
This is the time.
This is the time to make that happen.
Yes.
So you get all kinds of calls.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a lot of different people. What is your favorite things to work on?
My favorite is Medicare. We do Medicare, but it starts the middle of October and it goes all the way through December 7th. That's the annual enrollment period is what that's called.
Okay.
And so they have that window to definitely review your plans. Medicare is a totally different plan than, say, regular HMOs and PPOs. They're very similar, but obviously very different because now it's specifically for seniors or somebody that's been disabled for longer than 24 months. So Medicare has all kinds of extra benefits that you would not have had previously.
Like?
Oh, crazy stuff. Free gym memberships, free over-the-counter benefits. Say you need Tylenol, Band-Aids, you need a new blood pressure cuff. All that stuff is covered, depending on the plan.
Just go into Rite Aid and I can use my insurance.
It depends on the carrier. So some of them have a little card they'll give you, and you literally can go with shopping. Others you order online like you're on Amazon, just ordering things and they send it right to your home and it's completely free.
And this is mostly through Medicare?
Yes,
because we don't get that through HMO.
No. Yes, and then chiropractors, acupuncture.
Those are covered?
Yes, depending on the plan.
Chiropractors are almost never covered in HMO.
Yes, in Medicare they are, as well as, what's another great one? People love the gym memberships. This last year, they were also including stuff like going to specific fitness stuff. Like I know you're into Pilates. It was covering Pilates.
No kidding.
Yes, now this next year that changed. But depends on the plan. There's always changes. That's why we suggest people to review because they do change and your drug coverage changes. Your doctor might not be on that network any longer. That's very sad when they stay in a plan.
I imagine that's hugely important, especially as a senior. You go into the same doctor for 20 years.
Oh yeah,
right? And then all of a sudden your doctor's out.
They find out he's gone.
Okay, so you're getting your main plan.
Yeah.
And then you're buying a supplement on top of that. Now, before you go too deep,
everybody's too confused.
Yeah, if you're a senior on a fixed income, let's say you're on Social Security or whatever.
Yeah.
So you pay out of that Social Security for that plan.
You pay A and B. The original A and B.
A being the first policy, B being the second policy supplement?
Well, it's different. In Medicare, everybody is either Part A and Part B, and if you have Part B, then you're eligible to sign up for a Medicare Advantage, which is the HMO and PPOs, or you can sign up for the Medicare supplements. If you do not have Part B, You cannot. So it's just the Part A and B you get through Social Security. So that's completely based on how long you've lived in the United States, how long you've worked in the United States. There's all kinds of factors.
And this just gets deducted from your Social Security check.
Yes.
For someone like me who's still working and still covered on, I actually have coverage through my husband's plan.
Yes.
Why would I want to switch to Medicare at some point?
Yeah. Well, you would not have to as long as you stay on your husband's plan because it's through an employer.
Okay.
If you were just buying your own insurance, say like you went directly to Blue Shield and bought a plan, that would not be considered creditable coverage, they call it.
Okay.
But because it's through an employer, that's a group plan.
That's a group plan.
And there are some rules around that, so I don't want to get too much into the weeds. But usually if you're on a group plan, you are fine staying on that and not having to go on Medicare. And the nice part about that is so many people now are, and they love what they do or they have to. So you can do that option. You would want to consider the price difference. So compared to what you're paying, compared to what it would cost to go on Medicare. So that would be the only reason.
Now, if I didn't have a Social Security check at this point, because I haven't started drawing, I would just write them a check every month, just like...
You will pay it, yes. They will
I'll pay
bill
out
you
of
in
pocket.
some way, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Okay, I have a couple that was excited to get on Medicare.
Yes.
And they said, it's the greatest coverage ever. So I wanted to hear more about that.
Yeah, I always tell people when they're turning 65, I always say this is your golden gift for turning 65. Yes, it is phenomenal coverage. There's always a couple people here and there that'll be like, yeah, it didn't cover this, it didn't cover that. But very rarely do I hear that. Almost always is it like, oh my gosh, this is the best insurance I've ever had.
Really?
And it truly, really is.
Prescriptions are less money?
Usually, it depends on the drug. So that's where you kind of, the diabetic drugs can be pricey, of course.
In all things, in all
Of course.
insurance.
But they are trying to get that down to a reasonable price. This year there was a big change in Part D coverage, which was the drug coverage. So that's much more affordable for seniors. The other big one that people ask constantly is, are the weight loss drugs covered?
Oh, no kidding.
And they are not yet.
They're not. Well, I can imagine.
Unless you're a type 2 diabetic. If you're type 2 diabetic, they're meant for a type 2 diabetic. Yes. So then they are covered. But elsewhere, if you're just like, oh, I need to lose 50 pounds, no. It's not going to be covered.
That's pretty good. So what is the second most requested insurance? Is that HMO or PPO?
It depends on the person. It really depends. If you have a wonderful primary care doctor that you really like and trust, then an HMO is going to be perfect for you. You'll save the money. It's less expensive. That primary care doctor, you're basically trusting and letting them refer you into his network or her network. But in a PPO, of course, you have all that freedom to just be like, oh, I need to see a cardiologist. I'm going to pick one out of the network and go.
Wow. And I think that one is where you have a base of how much you owe at the end of the year. You just keep forking out checks until you get to a certain amount. And how does a PPO work?
A PPO, it really depends on the deductible and how
so
you
that's
set
a
it up.
deductible.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are zero deductible plans. Of course, they're more expensive.
Right.
There are also higher deductible plans. I had a client once that was a cancer patient, and I'm going to hit that deductible very fast, and I'm going to hit that max out of pocket very fast. So put me on that bronze plan, and I'll get that covered, and then the rest they'll cover.
Oh, wow. And
So there's just circumstances for everybody. Yeah.
I have an inside view, and this is probably just overarching, but having sat on a hospital board, we hear conversations and we look at statistics of how many people come through the hospital doors that are either on Medicare or IAHP or PPO or HMO.
Yes.
And I can see from standpoint of the income or the profitability from a hospital standpoint and how difficult it is, and how I've learned about, in cases, hospitals that have a heavier percentage of Medicare patients and state disability patients, it hurts the bottom line of the hospital for affordability. So I would imagine it's very difficult to regulate that or
I can
manage
imagine.
that.
Yeah.
So that must be interesting. So how do you meet your clients?
We are a referral-based company completely. So the owner of the company and myself are both in a BNI. So we've been in BNIs for a very long time, which is Business Networking International. So that's become a huge referral partner group for us. Even people that are no longer in the group or chapter continue to refer to us. So that's been a big one, as well as word of mouth. We'll sign up a client and then they'll tell everybody they know. So it's worked out really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You were sharing that some of the stories of what you enjoy. Do you have a story maybe that comes to mind of maybe a recent visit to a senior that might have been special?
Well, it's always fun when the seniors really become close to you and consider you part of their group, their family. One of them in particular, a couple sends me pictures of their grandkids. I love to see. It's so cute. And their newest grandbaby, or they email me all about what's happening and what they're doing at the holidays. And one in particular has had me over for lunch, and we've met outside for lunch at a restaurant. And then in January, we already have a date planned.
So you do this almost every year with
Yeah,
that
we
person.
do
Let's
this
see
all the
what's
time.
changed.
Yeah, they're so cute and so sweet. So that's my favorite part, is getting to know the clients, especially the seniors.
Yeah. I would imagine, does the average senior, say an older senior, does the average older senior know that they've got to look at their plan in a different way every year?
Well, we do send out email reminders. We start early. We're talking like early August. Start to remind them all the way leading up to October 15th. And I think most of them that have been on Medicare long enough, they are experienced enough to realize every year that time is October 15th through December 7th.
Wow.
But the key to that also is if they miss that window, which I've already had a couple people reach out to me this week because December 7th has passed, asking, can I still do anything? And the beauty of that is there's one more open enrollment period, and it is actually called OEP, Open Enrollment Period, which is funny. But that starts January 1st and goes through March. And that gives seniors one last chance to switch into a different plan. And I think the beauty of that, honestly, is for the people that forgot, for the people that procrastinated, or the people that got scammed and signed up into a plan that they did not realize.
How does that happen?
It happens constantly. And
Define.
It's super sad.
Give me an example of
Okay,
that.
so during that first annual enrollment period, all the way through October and November, they are literally harassed
Oh, I mean, I get
with phone calls.
I'm going to turn 65, and as soon as I turn 64,
you'll be
I got a
just
zillion
inundated.
of mail pieces, right?
Yeah.
And so you're talking about somebody that I just pick up the phone, don't have a relationship,
Yep.
contact
They're
them,
calling them.
and then they are suggesting a plan for us?
Yes. And it did happen to one of my clients this year, which was super sad. She thought it was somebody calling from my office, and it was not. So she was put into a plan middle of the year, which they use some life experience or reason to do it. Switched her over to this plan. Turns out when she had a major thing happen, which she did, she had to fork out $1,800.
Which is unusual.
Yes.
Is that because
Her max out of pocket for that
so
plan.
they just wrote it up one way.
Yep.
They didn't consider her circumstances before
Nope.
enrolling her in
Exactly. Maybe they were only certified with that company. Maybe they were directly from that carrier. There's no way to know. But for some reason, they targeted her, contacted her, and of course, they dangle something in front of you that sounds fantastic.
wonderful.
And then you switch. And then when I just spoke to her during our review time, she was like, this didn't get covered. And I'm like, I never put you in that plan. And she thought for sure that I had. And that's the sad part, is they are scammed and spammed constantly. Even my own parents say they get 10 calls a day.
It's extremely hard to determine what's real and what's not
That's
anymore.
right. Yeah.
And the art of relationship is
Yes.
a dying art.
Yes.
And I can tell it's part of our busyness in our culture and our fullness of things that we're doing. And it's through this kind of relationship that you can talk about it, understand it, and not be fearful, because you can see the person in front of you, and this person couldn't be surviving if they didn't know what they were doing and be placing other people that like them, know them, and trust them.
That's right.
So that's got to be a really difficult thing. But here's the thing, that you've been doing this and caring for people for so long.
Yeah.
That trust exists.
Yeah, we really spend a lot of time prepping for this every year. Literally, we start in July, August, and September. Every single year, we're spending getting ready for the open enrollment periods, getting prepared, learning about all the new plan changes, we have to get recertified every single year, retest every single year. And it's a big process. We're contracted with multiple carriers, all the big ones. We make sure that we are able to offer the best to our clients. So the beauty of that one last open enrollment period through the end of March is, say you did sign up for a plan and somebody did scam you, we can switch you out. Or say we signed you up for a plan and they're like, you know what, this plan just isn't doing it for me. We can still switch you one last time. So you only get one last chance. And I really like that because it really helps seniors.
How do you figure out a mix for someone else? When you're sitting down with, say, I'm 82 and I have diabetes and I've been in and out of the hospital a couple times and I'm just feeling the pressure. Something isn't right in my plan. How do you guide somebody through that process, or tell them which supplement they should or shouldn't have, or guide them how to pay additionally?
Okay, so the biggest thing we'll do when we do those reviews is start with, what are your medications?
Okay.
So,
wow. Okay.
So looking at the medications is key to finding the best plan.
No kidding. I would have never known that.
Oh my gosh, you can't even believe. Literally, if you have the dosage wrong, I've had literally where it was 200 milligrams compared to 100 milligrams, and it changed it like hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I have a friend.
Like weird things.
Her husband was working. She came down with something, I can't even tell you, it was just beyond my understanding, of a condition where her body and her nerves started to twitch. No. And she can't live the way she used to live. Sure. She's pretty much isolated in her home now. Oh, and her husband's plan was not able to cover the medication. It was $2,500 every single month that you draw from that. Wow. So they'd wait for open enrollment, got into Medicare, and now I think there is a deductible in their plan for so much, and then it's free beyond that. Yes. So it's and that was life-changing for them.
100%.
And that, again, here's where you say it's the medications.
It's the medications and doctors. Those are the biggest things we check first, and then we start looking at plan options. What does this plan offer compared to what is this plan? What do you need? What is super important to you? I had one this year that said I have to have transportation to the doctor and back.
Transportation is included in some of them?
Yes, you cannot believe what's included in some of these plans. It's phenomenal. But that one in particular, I was like, we have to find a plan that can get her to the doctor and get her home. She lives still alone. She has kids around her that come and help, but they're sometimes at work. Sometimes they can't make it to her doctor's appointments. So that was a big thing. So that would be a big conversation. What is super important to you? What do you absolutely have to have?
Wow. I love that.
I know. It's really fun. I honestly enjoy it because we're catering and maneuvering to find the best plan for them.
Well, it also shows your heart for this, too.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, because clearly you do.
I do.
I can see that.
Yeah, I love working with seniors. I love what I do in general, honestly.
Wow. Wow. And we were talking before that. You used to do real estate and mortgages.
Yes, I know. Yeah. I've had my real estate license since 1997.
And do you keep it live?
I do. I still have it. Yeah, all these years later. I actually got into it my senior year of college.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. My mom was a broker, and she's like, why don't you just get your license and you can just dabble when you can? And then I got sucked into it because it was, they know all about that, the money and the freedom and
No freedom.
Well.
Sorry, no freedom.
Nights and weekends, no freedom. But the rest of the time, there was a little bit of freedom. Yeah. But then I switched to loans because I did want that freedom back just the bank hours. They'd call 6, 7, 8 at night. I'm sorry, the bank's not open. So that worked in my favor for a long time. And then had a life change and needed to change into something else.
Well, this sounds like it suited you and your family very well.
Yeah, I really love it,
Well, let's say that somebody wants to learn more about JPN and your services. So how do they reach you?
We do have a website, just jpninsurance.com. We're all on there. You can see the whole agency, or you could call me directly, 951-526-5900. Or there's, of course, email, stephanie.proctor@jpninsurance.com.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, I've enjoyed this. I
I
got
know,
a
it's
lot out of
fun.
this.
I
Thank
know,
you
it's
very much.
interesting. It is interesting once you like learn the details of it.
It's a little scary. I'm not going to lie. It's a little to go into the next phase of life. Right now, I've taken so much for granted being a healthy individual, right? And only needing the doctor when I say I'm not perfect, right? And I'm like, okay, I feel a little twitch. I want to do something about that. And it's been a joy to have go. But as I start to age and as I start to see doctors get even more busy and have no room for me until a month from now,
struggle.
I would imagine that's a real issue.
Yeah,
locally.
it's a real issue. I think it's become ridiculous, to be honest.
Especially locally.
Oh, even with my own children, even myself. I've been waiting for a specific medical procedure for literally, we're at close to 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I think it's become absurd. I honestly think during COVID, they became, obviously that created a new problem, and now it's not ever been fixed since then.
Yeah.
And I kind of go, something has to be done. I don't know what it is. I don't know what needs to be done, but it's not good enough.
So I have so many folks telling me that they're, and this is truth for me, that I see a PA. I almost, I think out of 10 years, I've seen the doctor once.
I have never seen my primary care doctor.
And that's
ever
a little
once.
scary right there. Honestly, I guess that's the new normal.
Yes.
That's the new normal. I'm not 100% sure that the doctor that I attend would be a good resource for me anyway. The PAs, for the most part, give me more time. They have better bedside manner.
They have more
They
time.
may not have as much knowledge, but the doctor's going to be racing through the building.
Yeah.
I asked one time to get in front of the doctor, and they said 6 months out. 6 months
See,
out.
that's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
I really feel that's just not right.
Especially if you're not feeling great. I mean, at that point, I was like, I don't think I feel great.
Yeah, and I think more and more people are now just going to the urgent care or the ER.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, I can't get help from my primary.
Yep, and from the hospital standpoint, that is a problem.
That's right. Because
We have people waiting out in the hallways, and we really would like those people to go to urgent care.
That's right.
From a hospital standpoint,
Yes.
because that's step one.
Yes, and
And
I have multiple friends that work in the hospital, ER, all facets of the hospital, and they're just shocked at some of the things people will come to the ER for.
I have a cold, or I think
and
I
they're
might
just
have
like,
COVID.
oh my gosh. But then you have somebody here in the waiting room that's literally like about to have a heart attack.
Their arm falling off.
Or they are having a kidney stone right there, and they're just sitting in the waiting room
Because there's
feeling
a
like somebody's
backlog.
stabbing them. Yeah. So you go, wait a second, there has to be a change
Yeah,
here.
I think it's a universal change. I'm not quite sure how
I
it
don't
is.
know
I
how to
think
fix it.
The hospital doesn't quite know either. That's one reason why you have the name urgent care or emergency care.
That's right.
They're trying to get you to go there instead of the hospital, which is for really truly sick people to be admitted.
Even this morning, in fact, my son has done something to his back. And I was like, there's no way we'll get into the primary. Absolutely
zero.
No chance.
No
so
chance.
we had to go straight to urgent care, sit there for 2 hours.
Oh, what a fun day. I'm
It
sorry
was
I
a
didn't
fun
know
morning.
that.
And get the x-ray, because I'm like, if we go to primary, then they'll send us to a location to do the x-ray.
Exactly.
So we won't even get that done. So I'm sitting there going, we don't have any choice. We have to go to urgent care, or we're not going to know if you actually broke a rib or not.
Wow.
Yeah. This is the fun of health insurance, and it's frustrating for us because clients will call us like in pandemonia.
Like, can you help me get in?
I wish I could. I wish I could.
That's again the illusion that what we do in our businesses and what we're supposed to do in our businesses, right?
And you want to help them.
Of course.
But you're just like, I wish I could do all of this for you. And hands are completely tied.
It's just not an area of your expertise.
I have no way to get
I
in.
help you get
I get you
modeled,
the insurance.
but I don't get you
from
the
there.
doctor.
I don't have a doctor in our office, so I wish we did.
Crazy.
That might help, but anyways.
Well, the future, I guess, of even Murrieta and surrounding areas is to bringing in more medical professionals as we grow as a community. It is insane, our growth. It really is.
We need them. We're going to be in real trouble if we don't have them.
Yeah. Part of what draws medical professionals to live and work here is if we have a teaching hospital.
Sure.
That's what Loma Linda has, and that's why they have so many specialists right by that.
Yes.
And then as the interns leave that, they just settle in around it. They bring their young families, they settle in, and their jobs are available.
Yeah.
But for us, it's a little more intricate trying to bring them out to Inland Valley when they have a temptation to go to LA, San Diego, and Orange County where they're being paid more.
Yeah.
And that's our problem, too.
Yes. I have so many people that want to go to Scripps in San Diego, or Hope in Orange County, or Cedar Sinai in LA. And I get it. They're huge.
And they're great
Yeah,
hospitals.
exactly. Fantastic doctors. They're known for it. I get it. But we need them too.
We need them here.
We need them badly.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get even yet another hospital, although we've got 5 local.
Yes.
So
And Inland's expanding, 7 stories.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
But we'll be full the day they open.
I bet.
We
I
will
was
be
thinking
full
that.
the
Every
day
time
they
I
open.
drive by that, I'm all, that's not going to be big enough.
No, it's not big enough.
No,
That's
keep
7
going.
floors. It's just not big enough.
No,
But it's
yeah.
pretty exciting.
It is very exciting. Yeah.
Especially for Wildemar.
I've lived in this area since 1988.
Wow.
To see this town, holy cow. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Overwhelming. All right. It really is.
There was one stoplight. Now think about that. How many times you stop at the stoplights?
gosh,
Think about
one?
that. One at Rancho and Yanez.
Oh.
That's it. We got off the freeway, moved here from Denver, got off the freeway, and it was Labor Day weekend, 113 degrees.
So it was hot then, too.
Oh gosh,
Not
yes.
necessarily
It was
global warming.
so hot. I've never experienced that kind of heat since I moved here. And there was literally one stoplight. They used to have cops over the freeway directing the traffic.
No kidding.
Not joking.
Wow, we were
Stop
small back then.
signs.
That was 88?
Stop. Like the entire
a lot.
79 South, there was nothing. Not one thing. There was a 2-lane road to get to Awanga and Anza. That's it.
Wow, things have changed.
Yes, that's
Quite
like
a
a
bit.
city of its own down there.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
More coming.
So I always think about that when we moved here. Like moving here as a teenager was like, oh my gosh, there's nothing to do. But now as an adult, I was like, oh, I can see why people wanted to come here.
The vision.
Yes.
The vision.
Yeah.
Well, I have enjoyed this conversation. I hope you guys have too.
Yes.
I hope that if you are looking for some form of health insurance that you will consider giving JPN a call.
Yes.
And I appreciate it. This is Stephanie Proctor. I'm Liz Jones, your host. And until the next time.
Thank you for listening to Local Living Tri-City. Stay tuned for more insights and stories from Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, and surrounding areas. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a friend that is passionate about the Tri-City area as you are. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you next episode.